We really changed it up, huh? We changed it up for you guys, too. Everybody have a good Thanksgiving, I hope? Awesome.
Brought some sides for you, but I
perfect. I ate too much. I don't need any more sides. All right. Go ahead, guys. Fire away.
Does Erik McCoy still have a chance to play?
Yeah, he does. We're going to put him through a workout tomorrow and then probably pregame as well. So when I say that he's day-to-day, he's the epitome of day-to-day. We're going to take him right to the game and see if we can get him ready. If not, we'll have a plan, obviously, in place, and we'll go from there.
But he didn't practice today, right?
No, he did some stuff. He didn't practice with us. He did some movement stuff and some rehab and some strengthening and some just some workout stuff. The silence as you guys finishing your quick post, but got to get it out. Who can beat who with the fast fingers? Come on, let's go.
Why were you guys able to unlock the running game against Cleveland, and how do you continue it?
How have we been able to unlock?
Why were you able to? How were you able
Why?
to unlock against Cleveland?
Yeah. Well, listen, I think that was an emphasis for us going into the last two games, especially the Cleveland game was winning the line of scrimmage. We felt like it was a huge part of us having a chance in that game, and we put the emphasis on it. I mentioned the other day, I feel like our running game throughout the whole entire season, regardless of the mix and match at O-line and the different injuries and whatnot, I feel like that's been one of the things we've done most consistently. I think the other day, like I said, I think we're in the top, whatever it is, 8 or 9 in the league in rushing. So we want to be a little bit better naturally, but that's been pretty good. It's got to stay consistent. Listen, it's no secret. If we can run the football, it opens up everything else. It opens up everything we do, opens up our play action, opens up our drop back, opens up everything. And so anybody that can, run the football, gives you a chance to be multidimensional. And so it's important for us to continue to do that. I give credit to the guys in the run game and John Benton and Clint and Clancy and Derek and all the coaches and the players. Both the plan and the execution has been really good the last 2 weeks, so it's got to continue.
Is there something to pinpoint with the Rams' struggles in that area defensively? Or?
No, I think listen, they've just been a little bit inconsistent there. I think focus is really more on us than them. Listen, they got a really athletic front, and so getting on blocks and staying on blocks is going to be critical for us. And then obviously blocking on the second level, and that's one of the things I got to give the receivers a little bit of credit too. They've really done a good job of blocking on the second level, and so some of those 4 or 5 yard runs have turned into 7, 8, 12-yard runs. And that's big yardage because we've done a really good job on the second level. Some of those newer receivers that we've had in there the last few weeks, credit to them.
Are you guys viewing that receiver group? Just considering you've had a number of guys who are currently on the practice squad playing big roles in games, is that still kind of up in flux?
Yeah, we try to make it a competition every week. To be honest with you, obviously the 4 guys that were up the last game. But the guys that weren't up, Mason Tipton wasn't up, and EQ and Jermaine, and those guys weren't, there the last active last game. But at some point, all of them have been, and so we've tried to make that a competition. Anytime you have injuries at a position, it's obviously you guys have heard the old next man up mentality, but we've tried to create some competition within practice. And to those guys' credit, those guys have really done a good job. This week was important for our tempo of practice. The Rams do such a good job of getting to the line, getting shifts, getting motions, having to adjust. And our replication of that through our look squads and our scout teams, the receivers were a big part of that. And I think they've done a great job. So not only when we're practicing our stuff, but when we're practicing our opponent's stuff too. So those guys got a lot of work.
Every game is the next game is the most important one. But if you guys win this one, do you see it as something that could, rally around? I guess just how important is this game to you guys besides the? But
I think your first point. I think your first point's the most important. If you look back, I'm only going to use the 3 weeks that I've been in charge here. Well, if we didn't win the Atlanta game, then the next game wouldn't have been as important. If we didn't win the Cleveland game, the next game wouldn't have been important. So it's really like that every week. Trying to keep this. We have a lot of distractions going on this week in terms of listen, we're coming off a bye week. It's a holiday week. All those things. And I think I mentioned the other day, we didn't handle winning 2 games in a row in the beginning of the season very well. We didn't respond very well. We didn't finish those next couple of games. And so really just trying to not duplicate, the past and what can we do to get better. So again, I'm not trying to ignore the question. But when I tell you we're really trying to keep the focus on the Rams and the 1-0, and I really believe in my heart that other stuff kind of takes care of itself. And truly it does, because think about it. If we haven't won these last 2 games, and this game wouldn't be nearly as important. So that's kind of been the message. Really just stay locked into this one.
Erik kind of, you talked about him being day-to-day and all the stuff that he's been going through and being motion today, but how has he kind of been, mentally throughout this process, through talks with you? Because it's got to be frustrating, right, when he comes back, he gets hurt again now, just trying to fight hard the same uphill battle. How has he been mentally through this, through your perspective?
Yeah, listen, I think anytime anybody's injured, it's a frustrating process, no matter how long or short the rehab process is. I think when you aggravate something, that's always frustrating too, because you kind of feel like you're over the hump, and then, listen, Erik's a very, very mature person. He's a very intelligent person. But he's working hard at it. We're just trying to be really smart with him, and he's so valuable to us. The last thing we want to do is throw him out there and practice and getting hurt on a Wednesday or Thursday practice. And we're just trying to be smart with that, him coming off that long layoff. So I think he's handled very, very well. I think he's a very mature guy. He understands how we're doing it. Listen, there's not a lot of guys in this building that I could say, hey, this guy can't really afford to practice X amount of days and still go play. He's one of the exceptions, in my opinion. We had a handful of those guys. He's a difference maker, and so we're trying to make sure we're doing the right thing by him.
Just to clarify, it's an aggravation of the first groin injury rather than like a.
He's banged up right now. He's banged up right now. He's not 100%.
Your guys' yards per reception when going to tight ends is like among the best in the league. Is that something that can be leaned into more, or is that more like a number that's due to circumstance and opportunity?
Well, I guess the first part of that is, what do you count Taysom as, right? Do you count him as he counts a tight end, I guess?
Well, Foster's second, and I think Juwan's 14th.
Yeah, listen, I think that goes back to the running game part of it. Heck, I played tight end in college, and even though I don't look like it anymore, but, part of the tight end passing game, a big, huge part of that is the success in the run game. And then when those guys get receptions, a lot of times they're chunk plays, right? So you look at some of those receptions those guys have had, and they're big plays, and they're very timely plays. I think, we don't have a lot of short passing game maybe to those guys, so when they do catch balls, it's more down the field type plays. But Foster and Juwan and Taysom, all those guys have really been exceptional. I think, if you look at them, especially the last few games, those guys as a committee have been really, really strong for us. So we're going to continue to lean on that because, again, for us not to be one-dimensional, spread the ball out, we're going to need all those guys, to be a part of it. So, yeah, it's a big deal.
I guess I count Taysom as Taysom. It's kind of hard.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always laugh when they try to put his position. When we put it, we congratulated him in our team meeting coming back, and we put him up when he won the Player of the Week, and we listed like tight end, running back, quarterback, kick returner. We put him all across the board. So it was pretty good.
Cano, how's he progressed?
Yeah, listen, he's had a really good week. We'll make a decision on him tomorrow whether or not we're going to elevate him now or maybe just wait for the whole process. He's allowed 21 days, the window. But he felt great that Tuesday, Wednesday. I didn't get a chance to talk to him today at post practice yet, but he felt really good after the Wednesday practice. After a couple of days, he felt like he was really ahead of where he thought he'd be. Got to shake the rust off a little bit. He's been out for a while, but no, I'm really pleased with having him back and where he's at.
Yeah, he said the other day that he felt like he was ready a couple of weeks ago. I did get the sense he's kind of like chomping at the bit here.
Yeah, if we had started the clock before the bye week, the bye week would have counted. So you don't get to press pause there, unfortunately. So that would have counted the 21 days. So it was a little bit of a disadvantage. I agree. He was chomping at the bit, but we would, again, no different than anybody else. Just wanted to be smart with it.
It's kind of out there, but looking back to 2015 with Dan, that team also kind of started 2-0 after the interim switch. Is that experience that you look back to and kind of say, okay, what went wrong? Because I think they went like 4 losses in 5 games. Is that a challenge, like a unique challenge as an interim to avoid that kind of energy boost fading and then turning into just kind of?
Yeah, I didn't remember that. I think the most important part of this whole process that we're in is to keep your mind off of the big picture, right? We got to keep our mind off of prior. We got to learn from what has happened in the past. We got to keep our not look past this week, and realize why we've had success the last couple of weeks and what can prevent us from having that. Now, I mentioned on Monday when the guys came in, we did a little bit of a State of the Union where we're at in all three phases. I think Nick asked me that the other day about did we do a self-scout, and that was really the message on Monday. The message on Monday was this is why we've done well the last couple of weeks. This is what can get us beat, and so that's really been more the focus on us. And again, I mean, I know I understand your question, but the relevance from 2015 to now, although shout out to Dan, but and congratulations to him for winning another one yesterday. But no, I just really trying to keep the focus on the here and now. We're good, guys. Appreciate you guys.